Hi there, I'm Budda and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. In today's episode, I'm in a very different scenario, as you can see. I'm at Tecnimusica in Pombal and they're the dealers for Matchless. That's why I'm here and that's why I have this row of Matchless. I just bought a HC30 or a C30 amp, which is basically their take on the Vox AC30, but way beyond what a Vox AC30 is. The brand was really famous in the 90s. Everyone in Nashville, everyone in the world. I've seen Robert Cray playing a C30 on a festival on Blues Express, Luxembourg, a festival we played also, and he was playing in the same day. I saw him play two C30 Matchless, green as mine, but with two 412s. What a great tone. And I played this amp and I was in love immediately, so I had to buy it, unfortunately, for my bank account. Then they invited me to do a whole special on Matchless amps, because there's not much information about Matchless amps out there, at least for me. I tried to find it and I couldn't find a lot of information. I was very curious to hear it, and then after testing them, you really get what's going on with the amps. So basically, let's start. I will go through all the amps they have here in the warehouse, starting with my own, which is a C30 with a 212 speaker cabinet. The speaker cabinet has two different selections, a G1265 and a G1275. So two different speakers for two different flavors. I love that. I love different combinations of stuff. I'm miking them up with two Biodynamics TG88, my favorite mic, or one of my favorite mic, to capture it. So the C30 and the DC30 basically are the same amp. The DC30 means it's a combo. The C30, it's the head, the HC30. It has reverb and two channels, but not, the two channels is not in the channel switching world scheme. It's like two flavors of channel. You have a Vox kind of top boost channel and then an EF86. The EF86 is a very sought after tube, and it's actually what old school Vox amps had. They had a volume and a cut control, nothing else. So it was a volume cut control. The cut control means you're cutting treble from the power amp. So it's not even on the preamp section. The volume is volume. On this EF86, they have a rotary control, this here, a tone control. So you can have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions. So it's a 6-position tone control. It changes the character of the amp. It cuts the bass, it boosts the mid-range. So you have 6 flavors. It's not something that you will be changing all the time. It's just something that you'll tailor to your sound, to your guitar, or to that specific part. And it's very simple once you get it. Then you have volume, nothing else. It has half power, which I'm playing through the 15 watt option and the 30 watt. It's a loud amp, believe me. It's really loud. But the main difference between the 30 watt option, the high and low switch, is the headroom and the attack, the snap, the transient. In 30 watt, you feel way more the pick going to the string. At 15 watt, it's a little more compressed. The EF86 channel, it's kind of already distorted. It's not a clean sounding channel. So let's go through the amp. We have a volume, which I will leave roughly around 9 o'clock watch time. Then it also has a reverb. It's a magical reverb. I'll leave it on all the time. I don't feel the need to use the cut control, so I never cut treble because it's not a treble amp, and the master is not working. It only works if you pull it, but I will not work it. So we'll only be working on this channel, basically volume and tone, and the tone is, as I told you, a fixed 6-way position. Let's start on the lower position. Second position. Third position. Fourth position. Fifth position. Sixth position. Okay, so immediately you can tell, and this is nowhere, I couldn't find this information anywhere. So the sixth tone position, basically, to me, it's a bass cut. At maximum, it is full bass, and at minimum, you cut all the bass. Hear it. To my opinion, immediately you get 6 amps in one. You get 6 different tones that you really know, like for this Strat, for example, the minimum tone, the position number 1 or lower position, whatever, it's not numbered, but the downwards position, it's too trebly. So I'll like probably the third. Even one more. No. Third position is good, so. And this is immediately a colorful amp for me. I love it. It could be it, but it has one more channel. Okay, you can only switch it via the foot switch, which is a shame because it should be push-pull if you don't have the switch, but whatever. But if it is too distorted, you have the low input, which takes off some sound. So you immediately have 2 options. With an AB box, you can have a boost in volume. You can have the guitar going into the AB box, sending it to high and low, and switching between both. So you have a boost in volume, which means also a little more crunch, a little more overdrive. Let's go to the channel number 1. And if you can see, there's a light showing off. So channel number 1, it's more of a Vox style top boost channel, with bass and treble. I'll leave the volume at 9 as the other one. Let's hear the difference. So this is a cleaner amp, but it's also a different topology of amp. It doesn't have the EF86 as a preamp tube, and it has bass and treble. What means you can cut bass and boost treble more independently instead of having a 6-tone position. The treble works as in a Vox. It's strange when you boost it too much, it gets thin and out of phase. Also, if we turn off all the EQ, bass and treble, basically it means you get what the amp has to give you. So, this is the tone of the amp. I usually say if you don't have a mid-range control, means the mid-range is fixed. So this is the mid-range the amp has to give you. You just need to feel, do you need more brightness or do you need more bass? I need more bass. And then I need more treble. channel I love the most is the second one, because it is way more versatile. So this is an amp built for you to play with your pick, attack, and volume controls like. So you can hear the amount of tones I can get out of the amp, and I even tweaked off the tone a little, so I cut the bass a little more because it was too flubby. Now it's perfect for me. Just by playing gentle, the amp reacts to everything. While on the first channel, it also reacts, but it has less margin because it's cleaner. So this is this to me is like a cleaner channel if you want clean, clean, clean. If you don't want any edge on the amp, but it's incredibly great the way it works. Let's hear it with an humbucker guitar, my 59 reissue Les Paul. And if you have been watching the show, you know I'm crazy for cables. So this is actually a sinusoid cable, which I like with humbucker guitars. I love my coily cable, the retro coil, the lava retro coil cable with single coils, but with humbucker guitars it's too muddy. I'll probably do an episode on that issue just. So let's hear the Les Paul on the EF86 channel. Let me cut the tone control a little less bass. Again, a very responsive amp. If I play it gentle, if we move it to the fattest position, you see it gets fat. That's it, my friends, the C30. What an incredible amp. What an incredible amp. It has a really cool switch, a reverse phase switch. When you play two amps in conjunction, you can reverse the polarity. So if they're out of phase, you can make it be in phase, which is very, very, very functional of this amp. Why did I bought the head versus the head and speaker combination instead of the combo? Two reasons. One, it's way more versatile setup. I might just want to use the cabinet, or I might just want to use the head in a studio or in a show setup, whatever. So it's less weight to be carrying around. But mainly because it sounds a little better, the head and cabinet sounds a little fatter, a little bigger than just the combo. So if you think this is too full, maybe the combo is the best option for you. Same features, EL84s, you get the specs in the screen. What a great amp. What a great amp. The C15 has exactly the same features, or almost the same features. This one doesn't have reverb, so it's a difference. And it's one of the reasons I didn't buy the 15. Because 15 watts is more than enough to play this amp. This is a really loud amp. But it has channel 1, same thing, bass and treble, and then channel 2, it's the EF86 channel with a 6 rotary. The master is included, so you cannot take off the masters. You're forced to use it. It doesn't have a half power solution, so it's only 15. It could have a 7.5 option, but it doesn't. I'm using the foot switch of mine. Same thing. Let's go with the Les Paul on channel number 1 using the same speaker. So we're miking it with the same 212 speaker. Since you cannot take the master off, I'm basically using the master all the way up. So it's the same thing as not having a master, or as close as possible. Let's go for channel number 2, the EF86 channel. You see how the bass is too bassy. It's cool when you have like thinner chords. And I like it a little thinner in a mix. It will make more sense. Let's hear it with a Strat. similar amp. It doesn't have reverb. That's one of the reasons I didn't got it. Well, that's the reason I didn't got it, because it's smaller, it's way lighter to carry around, because it doesn't have reverb in it, because it's smaller, and it's more than enough power to play. Let's hear the normal channel. I tend to prefer the master all the way up. It gives me more of the amp, but you can use it to tame it down a little. EP367 channel. So this is actually an amp for you to play with your guitar controls, with your pickup selection, because you can get like cleanish tones, cleaner, beautiful, clean, glassy tones. And you can get raunchy tones. Let's hear the channel 1 cranked. Channel 2. So you see they have very different characters, although they're part of the same family. So again, if you're going for a simpler amp, the HC15 is perfect. It doesn't have a cut, but I don't use the cut on mine. It has the EF86 channel, it has both channels. It doesn't have a reverb, but it has a effect loop, so you can use the reverb on the effect loop if you want, and delays, etc. Very light, very portable, less things to damage. If you want the whole thing, the C30 is the amp to get. That's what I got. Really great reverb. A lot of power. You have 15, but you also have 30 watts. 30 watts on the C30 doesn't mean just louder. It means cleaner, louder. If you play 30 watts, you get more headroom, more clean headroom, instead of more dirtying up. But it's a great amp. The master really tames the amp. I have only good things to say about it. Next in line is the Laurel Canyon. It's their take on a 6v6 amp, so kind of a deluxe reverb vibe of amp. Cleaner Fender, but it has a Celestion G12H75, and this is how the amp sounds. You have a more conventional platform: volume, bass, middle, treble, master, and reverb. So it's a clean amp, reminding us of the Fender thing, but it has the selection gives it a little more mid-rangey tone. Very familiar, clean platform, but you have the master and volume knobs, so you can play with compression, distortion. Let me put the master maximum. I don't really like master volumes. So it has that sponginess feel of a deluxe reverb. I like it, I love it actually. Let's push the volume. So I guess around here would be something. It's again really responsive amp. Keep in mind we're talking about super high-end boutique amps, not cheap amps. They're not inexpensive at all. So everything you expect from a great amp, Matchless has it. Just different flavors. And this is kind of, for those of you who wish your deluxe reverb would be a little more tweakable, or your Princeton reverb would be a little louder, this is a great amp with the addition of a master volume and a way of being able to put the volume. If you lower the volume, so you get a lot of combinations between the volume and the master, so you can get the crunchiness of the power tubes and the crunchiness of the preamp. You can adapt both, while on like a deluxe reverb you only have volume, so it's working both at the same time. Here you have a little more flexibility, and you have effects loop. Let's hear it with the 335. Again, it's an humbucker guitar. I'm using my sinusoid cable. I'm guessing I will have to turn the treble a little up. And since I already know the amp before I recorded it, I forgot to do something that I usually do when I don't know it. And assuming you don't know the amp, let's turn the control, the EQ all the way off. Which means they're not acting as Fender amps usually do. Fender amps, when you turn off the EQ, there's no sound. So this is the basic sound of the amp. Now we can add on all the other stuff. Let's see what the treble does. Okay, it's really high treble. Why do I do this? I do this to check where the EQ spots are. Because when it says bass, but it can be from 40 Hertz to 200 Hertz, which is a huge difference. So this bass is really low in the frequency. The mid-range and the treble are really high. So there's nothing in between, because in between it's the tone of the amp. I'm guessing the mid-range would be around 2K, 3K, and the treble would be around 5K, because it's really bright. You can see I don't have any treble in the amp and it's bright. And the Spitfire is the last of the bunch. Let's try it. It's an EL84 power amp section, very simple, 2 rectifier, 5AR4. It's a 15 watt amp with the Celestion G12H75, so the same as the Laurel Canyon, but a way simpler approach, volume, tone, and master. The master is here just to tame just so you can crank the amp and tame a little. But I'll use the master all the way up as usual. Let's use the low input. Again, in this case, the low input works really well with humbuckers. Like Les Paul, it's higher output than the Strat, so you can get a cleanish tone. And this is the great thing about vintage architectured amps, because they are made to be simple and right, effective, easy, fast to work with. So with this amp, we just engage I just connect to the low input to get a cleaner sound. I connect to the high input to get a more distorted sound, like with old Marshalls and old Fenders. And it's an easy fix doing that. So you can see I'm just plugging in. This is my clean sound. Plugging into the high channel, not changing anything at all. So you immediately have two different vibes. You have a boost, at least, to say the least, with an AB box or something like that. Or you can use the guitar controls to have whatever you want. So if I put my Les Paul on 5, this will be kind of plugging into the low input. And again, something I like to use with the Les Paul is cleaning up. Let me turn it a little higher. So cleaning up on the neck pickup. Having the bridge pickup to be the overdrive. And I do that just by lowering the volume on the pickup. And on a 50s wiring series, as I have here, if you lower the volume to 6, and then you lower your tone, it gets even brighter. This is tone on 6, tone on 10. And then use the pickup selector to have two different boosts. So all the way down, bridge pickup. And in the middle, neck. And this amp has no extra features. So tone, master, volume. Let's just crank the volume and take down the master. Master all the way up, volume at 2.5 PM. Well, that's it, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed the show. This is a great fun for me to play through all this beautiful Matchless amps. And still figuring out my favorite one is actually the one I bought. So that's really reassuring and really great. I love the HC15. Also love the Spitfire. It's a killer rock and roll. Simple amp as I like it. Let me know in the comments what you think about. Let me also thank my dear patrons for supporting the show. You guys really rock, and it's the only way I finance this channel. So thank you so much. If you want to become a patron yourself, you'll be getting early access to episodes, free video lessons, and my huge thank you, of course, because you're contributing and making it possible for me to do this. Also, you can become a YouTube Pro member. You'll get the same goodies, early access and free video lessons. Also, you get stickers, loyalty stickers, and priority in chats when I do chats in YouTube. Also, I'm opening up some spots for guitar lessons online with me, so you'll be getting lessons via Skype or Google Meets or whatever platform works for you. It's a one-on-one lesson, although where we might be in different spots of the planet, which is beautiful. So if you're interested, just hit me an email or a direct message via Instagram or Facebook, and we'll deal with it from there. I notice 80% of you guys who watch the episodes are not subscribers. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. You'll get notified whenever I put up a new episode, and that helps a lot for YouTube to show it up to more people, and helps the channel to grow. Thank you so much. We'll see each other next week. Bye-bye.